the Hoopstrology podcast season 2, brought to you by the Vice City Inn. My name is Jesus Acevedo Jr., and I'm gladly joined by the one and only, the astrologer, the Zodiac GM. How's it going, Zodiac?
How's it going, man? Love your energy, man. What's up?
It's Monday. Monday night. I'm not sure where the surge of energy is coming from, but I think it's coming because we're back on it. Second episode of this season. And, we're going to get right into it because there's a lot has happened already in these young, 2.5 weeks of the NBA, Zodiac?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot's been going on.
And the main thing that surprised me so far, and I don't know if anybody had this on their radar for this season, was an 8-0 Cleveland Cavaliers, an undefeated 8-0 Cleveland Cavaliers with a new head coach, Kenny Atkinson, a Gemini. Stand up and represent, Geminis. I'm going to stand up and represent because I'm a Gemini. Kenny Atkinson has his Cavaliers 8-0, a big victory over the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know if it's a big victory since the Bucks are struggling, but we'll get to the Milwaukee Bucks in a second, Zodiac. What do you make of these Cleveland Cavaliers 8-0?
Amazing. Great job. Kenny Atkinson's a great coach for that team, and it fits them perfect. It really does. I mean, Evan Mobley, also a Gemini, Darius Garland.
Stand up, represent, Gemini.
Darius Garland, Aquarius, and then they have Isaac Okoro, also Aquarius. I mean, these three players I mentioned, they all fit very well with Kenny Atkinson, which is the head coach. And this is one thing I thought about when he got hired. I was like, okay, well, this is a good thing because now you're gonna have a good coming out of from Darius Garland, which is your point guard. Aquarius and Gemini works very well. Him being under a system of with Kenny Atkinson being under the helm is a positive thing for someone like Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, and it fits them well because their star player is Donovan Mitchell, right? Who's a Virgo, though opposite, but he is a mutable sign. Mutable signs are adaptable. And from what I've noticed, these type of combinations tend to work because of that adaptability, which is key. So whenever it's like a fixed sign or even a cardinal sign is a little bit more of a challenge. But in this combination, it does work. And on top of that, Kenny Atkinson is a really, really good coach, and he has a right combination that's working out for him right now.
I think what I love about Atkinson is his how he communicates, what he communicates. I think the team has bought in right away, and going to what you're saying, he's a mutual sign, and Donovan Mitchell is a Virgo, another mutual sign. I think that speaks highly of that they're able to understand each other. Look, I've played with a lot of Virgo teammates on teams, and I know it's how to play with them, but they understand, the mutual aspect of their sign helps them out so much. Just like a Gemini man, Evan Mobley, I gotta say, I think this is the Evan Mobley everybody thought was gonna be coming out of college. I feel like I love that he's handling the ball more. Like they've given him, Atkinson has given him the confidence to hey, get the ball and go. And just and the moves that he's making, he seems assertive. And let me tell you one thing, Zodiac. If a Gemini is assertive, watch out. Because I think sometimes Geminis can sometimes not double think themselves, but there's so much thoughts going in their mind. But if they're assertive, they're a very dangerous beast. And I say this as somebody that plays like that. Sometimes when I'm just assertive, I notice a difference. But sometimes our mutualness gets in the way because we want to not please everybody, right? We want to make sure that the game is flowing. But I think, yes, go ahead.
The key word you mentioned right now is assertive. I mean, Kenny Atkinson is an Aries moon, which is an assertive type sign. It's a cardinal sign. You also mentioned it yourself. You tend to be assertive, and I've seen you play. You are also a cardinal sign of a Cancer. So always keep that in mind, right? You have the combination of certain individuals, though their sun signs are such and such, also consider their moon sign and the combination that they're surrounded with, right? So that's a key thing. I mean, Kenny Atkinson, he is an assertive type of Gemini who communicates very well and clearly, and that's a very, very good thing to have as a coach, and that's the reason why he connects very well with someone like Evan Mobley, a Gemini, and Darius Garland, Aquarius, and Isaac Okoro, also Aquarius.
What is Evan Mobley's sun sign?
So Evan Mobley's sun sign is a Gemini. So
So he's a
he's a
double
Gemini.
Gemini.
He's a Gemini, and
Oh, moon
you know,
sign. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, moon sign.
yeah, I have to look his up. I have to check him out. But those are key things. Like, for example, another assertive sign would be someone like Donovan Mitchell, right? So because he's a Virgo sun, but has a Cancer moon, right? It's an
I see,
emotional
and
type
that's
and
where the
assertive.
assertive comes from. Yeah.
Yes, but he displays it in a different way. So there's different types of assertive that is being filtered through their sun sign. So Virgos are very hardworking individuals in general, very nitpicky, and they're very detail oriented. So that's the type of individual that you're getting out of someone like Donovan Mitchell. But include his Cancer moon, you're also getting an emotional leader, who's very driven and assertive, as you mentioned, and they're the ones that are movers. They're the go-getters. They're the one that makes things happen. But he does it more in an emotional type of sense, which kind of dubs him as sort of like an emotional type of leader, filtered through his Virgo moon. I mean Virgo sun. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this Cleveland Cavaliers team, and look, we're 8 games into the season, right? But I think early signs point to them being a solid team the rest of the way, and let's not forget about Jared Allen. Allen is there, 11 rebounds per game, had the big block on Damian Lillard. I guess he stopped Dame time. I guess Jared Allen is not a fan of Dame time. But yeah, so I think this team's gonna be one to watch out for, But from the best in the NBA right now, we'll go to one of the worst. Zodiac, and that's the Milwaukee Bucks. We mentioned it. They lost a tough one to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jared Allen blocked Damian Lillard at the rim. 1-6, right? 1-6, 1-8, 1-6. Yeah, 1-6,
and they lost again today. So
and they lost. Oh my God! So yeah, it's now they're 1-7.
1-7.
1-7. 1-7. Look, we've talked about the Bucks going back to last season, that when they made that trade for Damian Lillard right away. You were one of the first ones, everyone was talking about, hey, these guys, too talent, they're going to put it together. Right away, you were like, on talent, yes, but the fit as far as them two getting along or the synergy with the rest of the team, you said it kind of just didn't feel right. Which is funny enough. I actually also remember you telling me that what they traded away was better for them for a team. Maybe it was a little less talented than Dame Lillard, but I was when you told me for the synergy, what they gave away is not as good as what they brought in from a synergy perspective. So, first of all, do you feel vindicated, Zodiac? Let it out right now. This is your time to be like, I told you no? Is it that time, Zodiac?
No, I mean, the way I see it, I just read it as it is. I mean, the Bucks are on the downtrend right now. And just a quick correction, they're actually 1-6 with that loss, right? So,
1-6.
Yeah, they're 1-6, but they're downtrending, and it's a little bit difficult when you have two superstars that are opposite synergy, right? Because if you try to fix one thing, the other, you still have to fix the other part, So they did have the coach, right, Adrian Griffin, right? He was a Cancer, Damian Lillard is also a Cancer, right? So, but opposite of Cancer was Sagittarius, which is what Giannis was, right? So even though they were winning a lot of games, but you can still get a sense from even reporters, analysts around there that the Bucks wasn't really fully there. They would lose 20-point leads, and they would just get criticized so heavily, even though they were winning games. But you can also get a sense that Giannis wasn't himself either. So they ended up firing Adrian Griffin, right? And they did get a coach, Doc Rivers, who is compatible to Giannis. But guess what? Now he's opposite of Dame Lillard. So it sort of breaks that synergy alignment, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
the thing they had with Drew Holiday, it was a blessing in disguise. I mean, Drew Holiday came in there, him being a Gemini, mutable,
stand up, represent,
adaptable type of energy, right? So his energy fit that core combination that they had, especially when they win the championship. I mean, you had Brooke Lopez, who's an Aries, a Cardinal energy. You also had Chris Middleton, who was healthy. I mean, he was a Leo fix. And you also have the mutable sign of a fire energy in Giannis himself, right? And then mix in Drew Holiday, and then they had Tucker Tucker was a lone sort of opposite synergy, but he played a limited role, which sort of fit, and it was sort of like okay, right? And he was good at it. He was a defensive specialist, But the one thing that kind of separates him and Dame Lillard, yes, Dame Lillard is a great player, but if you look at Dame Lillard's energy, he's a double cardinal energy. He's a Cancer energy with a Cancer sun with an Aries moon, double cardinal.
Ooh.
This type of energy is double assertive, double go-getter, they're sort of like natural leaders, right?
Double fire.
Whenever you have that type of player, you kind of have to let them lead because that's what they do best. Dame Lillard is not an adaptable type of individual that adapts to others or other system. You kind of have to run off of him, like let him take the lead. Someone like LeBron James, for example, right? LeBron James, he's the go-to guy. You let him lead, let him run the show. Same thing with Dame Lillard. You have to let him. But the problem is you have all these contrasting energies around him, which throws his energy off. It doesn't feel like himself. But you look at him when he was in the Portland days, man, they had the right team around him, and it worked out very, very well. So that's kind of an advantage that they have.
Now, let me ask you, how much right now the current team, the lineup that they're using, is it a 3-2?
It's a 3-2. I think honestly the sign or the acquisition of Gary Trent Jr. wasn't the best move. I felt like they could have gotten someone with better fit. And just kind of leave Dame Lillard as like that lone synergy that can sort of like the way Memphis is with John Morant. John Morant's sort of like that odd synergy that's but they still make it work, right? But if you throw in another energy that kind of like has it half and half or a mixed 3-2 type of energy, it could work on some scenarios, but in this case, the Milwaukee Bucks doesn't.
How much do they miss Chris Middleton from a synergy perspective? He's a Leo, right?
Yeah, he's a Leo. He's a fixed energy.
So would that be better overall or just better for Giannis?
It's good for Giannis, which is your star player, your go-to player too, right? And then it's also benefits a player like Brook Lopez. A lot of people don't kind of overlook him, but he's a big factor of this whole synergy / group. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but ever since he joined the Bucks, 1, Giannis was happy, right? 2, they started winning games, and so having Middleton there kind of connects everyone else because he has a fixed sign. He's sort of like that engine, right? Where you can count on because they're fixed energy, Leo, and you kind of let him shine as well. But you have the right energies to connect around someone like Chris Middleton. But Dame Lillard, it's on the other hand, kind of like, hey, I'm a leader. I'm alpha. So it kind of throws off that synergy like that. But it does help having him, and it does help having Chris Middleton in the lineup, though, regardless.
Okay, so I wonder. I mean, because I know we've been already trade rumors, right? We may have Giannis on the trading block, or Brook Lopez for sure is one that say have been trading block. But I think I wonder if they'll wait till Chris Middleton comes back. Which for how long is he out? Is he just out?
I'm not sure, but he's been out for quite some time. But
yeah,
but I feel like he can fit that 2 spot very well, even though he's more like a 3. But Prince, he does good, but he's not the right combination with Lillard and Giannis. It's that's kind of like the imbalance there, along with Gary Trent Jr. But it's okay. The thing is, they're still 2 very talented players, and they can still make it work. But you can tell it's obviously they're not winning games. And this is just
it says here. Doc Rivers said that he doesn't have a timeline for when Chris Middleton is coming back. So there you go.
Yeah.
I wonder maybe the Bucks should have hired a Gemini, right? A mutual.
Hey, yeah. Devin Senjo, who they were close to getting Bojanovic from the Atlanta Hawks. He would have been a great fit.
Really?
Yeah, with the Bucks. But I think something happened where they rescinded the trade or something like that. It didn't fall through. But Bojanovic would have been a great piece for the Milwaukee Bucks. Both Bojanovics, as a matter of fact. The other one too. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Wow. We'll go to the West now with our next topic. Talk about Showtime in Los Angeles with the LA Lakers and Zodiac. From the get-go, you could see maybe even the first or second play in the NBA season for the Lakers, you could see that this was a different team from last year in the Darvin Ham. It's essentially most of the same team, but the ball movement, that the actions off of dribble handoffs, timeout plays, just the amount of players that touch the ball, and I think this is going to be a good Lakers team. And I may have underestimated JJ Redick as a coach. I know he was always a good player, a smart player, knew the X's and O's, right? But just because he made the jump from kindergarten basketball coaching to Lakers, it's quite a jump. So I was like, that's,
yeah.
But no, I mean, I've been impressed so far. I know they're what, 4-2 right now.
They had 4-3. They just lost.
They just
tonight.
Lost to the Pistons. We'll talk about the Pistons next week. Okay. But yeah, so it was still 4-3, but even then I see positives for this team going forward, and I remember you said whenever they hire JJ Redick, you were on the front line saying that this is a good hire for them from a synergy perspective. So break it down. Is this playing out how you saw it when they hired him?
Yes, it is. Mainly because so first of all, JJ Redick, he's a Cancer with the Taurus moon, right? So that energy fits very well to LeBron James, who is an Aries. It also fits very well to Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell, who both are Pisces, right? It fits well to those three individuals. And the reason why that's a big deal is because those are, arguably your three best players in the team on the roster. I mean, you can put Austin Reeves in there, but yeah, I mean, when you have your top players compatible to your head coach, that's a good sign. That's a positive thing, right? Because they all understand the coach. Just imagine this, right? You have the head coach and you're a player, right? And you tend to just get what the synergies is good, the vibes is good, and you get what the coach is saying. And then whatever he's telling or saying to the whole squad, you just kind of agree because you naturally are in tune with that player. And then you notice Anthony Davis, he's like the MVP front runner right now because he connects well. The Pisces, Cancer, water elements, it's a very good synergy. And he gets someone like Redick. It's like they want to play harder for a coach that they like, and it favors Redick too, because now he has players that feeds off of him, that likes his energy, right? And it works well with someone like Austin Reeves, as I mentioned, similar combination type with the Cleveland Cavaliers, where though Austin Reeves is in this case opposite of those players and coach I just mentioned, which is a Gemini, but it is a adaptable, mutable type sign who can sort of adapt on the go, right? So I tend to see those type of combinations work out fairly well, similar to what Luka is in Dallas as well, But you see what I'm saying? So that combination mixes very well. But I do feel like they are missing one piece, though. And I've mentioned this. I feel like they're missing like an energy like Jonas Valanciunas, right? Who's a Taurus, or even a Scorpio energy could also be very useful, like Bol. He's a Scorpio. I feel like a Taurus or a Scorpio energy could fit very well with this group. So, and I know Jonas Valanciunas' name has been out, and if they happen to get someone like him, hey, that'll be a good thing, So we'll see. That's just one piece that I feel like that they're missing. But they have two former number 1 draft picks on their roster, all-stars. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, great players. Talent alone is winning them games, as it did last year. But they can also get over the edge if they get that extra piece. But we'll see how it plays out throughout the season because, they're playing a whole bunch of different types of teams, right? So we'll see. Right? Look, they lost today against the Pistons. Who would have thought that, right? But we'll see because it's only less than 10 games within in the season. So
yeah, they just lost to the Pistons, but it took 37 points, Anthony Davis, but 6 Detroit Pistons players in double figures. That's bigger than. But yeah, no, I know, going to what you're saying, Anthony Davis, I think you're right. 8 games, 9 games, 10 games into the season, he has to be the front runner for MVP. I mean, he's leading the team with 31 points, 12 rebounds, about 2 steals a game, 1 steal a game. But no, I think it's this is what's always interesting about doing this podcast, Zodiac, is that it's too early to start talking about what trades are going to happen, right? Because we typically don't tend to see too many early trades. I think it's maybe about after 20 games we start to see maybe some trades or talk, right? Because I think after 20 games, I think we can kind of a GM at least should be able to gauge what kind of team they have, But it's always interesting for us to see what moves they make and see what immediate impact, good or bad, these trades may have on that team. So that's what we do here at Hoopstrology. And something else we do here at Hoopstrology, we got to throw it back. We got to think back to players that deserve the recognition. And one of the greatest just had his recognition. Vince Carter, half man, half amazing, had his jersey retired by the Toronto Raptors. The first jersey ever retired in Toronto. I think it couldn't be a better person to be the first jersey retired in Toronto. I mean, this man arguably put the Toronto Raptors on the map, right? He made him a better team, but just arguably had to carry the NBA torch after Jordan for maybe 2 years, right? Just with his acrobatic dunks and just acrobatic dunks and carrying that franchise, but what was Vince Carter's sign? I don't think I ever checked up what his sign was.
Was the term Air Canada a thing? Was
Air
that
Canada? I think that was the thing.
Was that Air Canada?
That was one of his nicknames.
Right.
Most of the ones I remember was half man, half from Mason, but he was.
Oh, that's a good one too.
They called him. Yeah, they called him Air Canada. He had so many nicknames.
Hey, and it makes sense. Air, quote unquote, Aquarius, which is an air sign, right? Air, like who so happened to also be Michael Jordan's son, who's also an Aquarius. Ironic, right? So, I mean, he's an Aquarius energy. I mean, the run that he had with the Raptors, the thing with someone like Vince Carter, he was so talented that the Raptors weren't the best teams or anything, but he made them one of a very competitive team, him alone. Because the thing with Aquarius, they're sort of like they are the rebellious sign of the Zodiac. If you tell an Aquarius to do something, they'll just do something opposite just because they want to be different. They're the rule breakers, right? And that's what he is. That's what Michael Jordan is. That's what a player like Jalen Green is. I mean, those Aquarius energies they're just naturally like that, right? His best team was that 2001 Raptors when they finished second in the Central Division. They're 47 and 35.
2001, right?
2001, so they ended up losing in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Philadelphia Sixers, Allen Iverson, in Game 7, but that was one of his best seasons, and he had a really, really good roster in that team. One of his most compatible energies was Charles Oakley, a Sagittarius. That Sagittarius Aquarius energy works out very, very well. Mark Jackson was running the point. Aries Aquarius energy works out very, very well. So, Vince Carter, he had 20 plus years, right? Was it 20?
Who was his buddy too? His cousin, Tracy McGrady.
Oh, Tracy McGrady.
He was Gemini. Stand up, represent.
Yeah, another Gemini. So imagine if McGrady would have stayed. Oh my God, that duo alone would have done wonders. McGrady and Vince Carter, they would have done wonders. But stuff happens. It was early in their career, or McGrady's career, that kind of set them their own separate ways. But hey, they both had successful.
Literally. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they both had individual successes. Different. Neither one ever made it to an NBA. To win an NBA title. I don't think Tracy McGrady did, right?
No, I think it was close enough to San Antonio that 1 year.
That 1 year, that's what I was thinking about. Yeah. So, but I think both impactful in different ways. I think it could be argued that Tracy McGrady had longer. I don't know. That'd be interesting to compare their careers. Vince Carter had a longer career, but I wonder who was a bigger impact or more of a star player for their team. Because definitely Vince Carter was that for Toronto, but Tracy McGrady did that for the Magic and the Rockets.
You're right. And it's interesting. And I've researched both these players before, and I don't know the full details behind certain rosters, but from what I remember, there are certain players in the league, and these two are two of them, that throughout their careers, they haven't really played with a quote-unquote compatible team, like a fully hey, this is a really, really compatible team. Neither has really. I mean, Tracy McGrady had those years with the Rockets, but he wasn't as full compatible with Yao Ming, but also, injuries and all those other factors came into the play. It came into the picture, right? But it was odd because when that's a whole nother story. When they did get injured, the Rockets team so happened to make it deeper into the playoffs, but that's a whole nother level. But what I'm trying to say is that these superstars, sometimes you fall into a scenario where you're fortunate enough to have these good synergy, either star players or even teammates as a group. And they tend to have a better success as far as for winning championships and other accolades and so forth. But these two players were very talented enough to have a wonderful career on its own. So that goes to show, how much of a talent each, Vince Carter in particular in this case, has had over his career.
You know who? This is where I'm gonna try to trip up Zodiac GM listeners. You know what's another possible potential good partnership between an Aquarius and a Gemini we're gonna see in the WNBA? Is Indiana Fever new coach Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark, a Gemini and Aquarius. Tell me about this matchup. Tell me about this new partnership. Her taking over with the Indiana Fever. And for the record, you told me since Caitlin Clark got drafted by Indiana, you were like, her and the coach, the signs don't really. From the beginning, you told me. So I kind of knew what to expect this season for the Fever. There was, Caitlin Clark had them tough early month or so, early games, trying to get used to it. But then once she got it, she took off. But even when she was taking off, you could tell that she was like, not that she was holding back, but so much so the play of the team was holding her back. I'm not saying the team, but more so what was structure around her. And as soon as I saw that Stephanie White was a Gemini, stand up, represent, I said, this is going to be a partnership. Tell me about this. It
really is. Whenever Caitlin Clark got drafted initially, the first thing I try to do is, I try to envision how their team's going to be like. I mean, right off the bat, she's going to have a big influence with the roster, right? And the first piece I look at is who her coach is, because she's has to listen to the coach because that's the head coach, right? And so I kind of factor those into the play along with the anticipated teammates and so forth. I was like, it's gonna be a challenge, right? So, and sure enough, they did have a challenging season, right? But now that they have a new coach who's a Gemini, White, so that's a good synergy. That's a good thing because now you have, I guess you can consider her the best player, right, for the team. Or she has a strong influence, right? So they're going to do a lot of game planning around her and so forth. And when you have your head coach and one of your best players on the same page, it's a great thing because everything else can kind of feed off of that, right? So I'm curious to see how it's going to pan out with this combination. I've seen this type of combination so many times with other franchises, and they tend to do good. But of course, nothing is ever guaranteed, right? But you also have your core pieces around them and everything else. But this is a good building block for the Fever for sure.
He's also good. I know, Aliyah Boston. She's a Sagittarius.
Yes, that's a good.
So I know that's a good synergy with Stephen White. I know her, the Gemini, not Gemini, the Aquarius. Sagittarius, how does that work? Is that good?
Yeah, that's a good synergy as well. The Sagittarius fire sign mixed with an air element of an Aquarius fixed sign. It's a very, very strong combination as well. And then you have the Gemini, the head coach. So overall, they're going to have a good understanding of game planning, and they're also going to be willing to kind of feed off of whatever game plan that she throws out. So that's a key thing, because sometimes players, whoever the coach is, if they're opposite energies, it's like they have to do it, but they're just like, they don't really want to do it. It's like that type of feel. But when you have someone that you want the coach with where they say same page and everything, it's a good thing because your body your mood, your energy, everything else is like a go. If you want to do it, and
right.
It's a great thing to have. So that's a good. That alone is a good starting point.
And last point I'll make is that White's birthday, the new FIBA head coach, is June 20. The next day is Cancer. Usually, when the dates are that close, a sign will pick up just a bit of the next sign. So the next sign after Gemini is Cancer. Cancer and Aquarius, it's really good. So I think it's almost like it's gonna be a double strong connection because of that with Caitlin Clark. Just a thought.
Yes, there you go.
There you go. So that was a last minute topic I just threw in there to throw Zodiac GM off. But as you see, I can't throw him off. The man knows his stuff. And that's why you need to come back week after week and listen to us talk about hoops and astrology and the marriage that they have provided. Zodiac GM, any final words here on this episode?
Follow us on Twitter X, the Zodiac GM, and Hoopstrology.
And follow me, Jesus_Acevedo Jr. And follow us at the Bayou Cityan. And don't forget to subscribe. See ya.